Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here with another NBA Live My Career gameplay, and today we are taking on the two choke artists of the playoffs so far, the Clippers and the Bulls. The two choke artists, man. The two biggest disappointments. Like, really? Really? Who do I start off with first? Do I start off with the Clippers or do I start off with Chicago? Who do I start off with? I'm gonna start off with, you know what, I don't really have much to say about Chicago, so I should start off with them first. Like, dude, are you serious? Chicago had a 2-1 lead and showed no effort after that. Now, like I stated in one of my NBA 2K videos, Jimmy Butler cost him Game 5. I will admit that. I will admit Jimmy Butler, he cost him Game 5. Game 5 was the closest you were going to get, and sadly, as I get that crossover right there, that Jimmy Butler cost him that game. I don't care what nobody says. He should have not took that shot. That shot was unnecessary. It was uncalled for. It wasn't needed. They had more time on the shot clock. They could have got a pin down for Mike Dunleavy. So I give him the benefit of the doubt there. But going back to your hometown and not sending it into a Game 7, come on, Bulls, you know you can do better. Why do y'all want to be not superior to LeBron? Like, I would think that Chicago want to be superior to LeBron. You know, if this was Michael Jordan, and if this was the Michael Jordan Bulls, LeBron wouldn't even see the day of light. LeBron would have never seen the finals. Even with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, they never would have seen the finals. That's just me. I mean, like I said, game 5, Jimmy Butler cost y'all that game. There's no denying that. Jimmy Butler took a dumb shot in the corner instead of just holding it down. Y'all had enough time left on the shot. Y'all had so much time on that clock after Derrick Rose got blocked by LeBron, and Jimmy Butler let LeBron shine for some odd reason. It was kind of uncharacteristic by Jimmy Butler too to actually take a unill-advised shot, because Jimmy Butler takes very good shots, but I guess he was trying to be the hero in that moment. And yeah, good job. Good job. And I'm not sitting here saying that, oh, I'm mad because, you know, I wanted the Bulls to win. I thought the Bulls were going to win just based off their front court alone. I thought without Kevin Love being in the lineup, him being done for the rest of the season with that separated shoulder, you would think that the Bulls front court would have been a big problem. Mozgov wouldn't have been able to do the things that he didn't really do much in that series. They did a good job in the post, but sometimes, you know, they had brain cramps and let Mozgov get a wide open layup sometimes. So you know how that go. So yeah, I personally think that, you know, Chicago, you know, I mean, I just thought y'all would come out stronger in Game 6, but, you know, I mean, you had enough talent to eliminate my Bucks, but you can't eliminate the Cavaliers. Cavaliers with an injured Kyrie Irving, an injured Kevin Love, an injured LeBron. Come on, man. You let J.R. Smith save the day like 3 games. How you let J.R. Smith save the day for 3 games in a row, man? You let J.R. Smith save the game, man. Come on, dog. I'm not down talking, y'all. I'm just saying, you know, y'all. I expected more than what I got. And I guess that's really all I wanted to say, man. I ain't really got that much to say on the Bulls. I'm just saying, though, if you could take out my, but then again, y'all did kind of let the Bucks turn it into a series, kind of. So I mean, it kind of, you know, it kind of showed y'all, was kind of showing y'all true colors in that first round, anyway. So yeah, so I mean, it was kind of probable that y'all could lose, but I didn't think it would happen, considering the fact that y'all have probably the best front court and a better bench. Y'all had more depth. Yeah, Cleveland had talent on their bench, but y'all just had that team y'all had better team chemistry, and sadly, it did not show. So yeah, and since because the quarter is coming to an end, so I guess I'll have to wait on the Clippers to talk about them. This is live commentary. If you don't hear the button mashing, it ain't live. Let's just keep it real. If my commentary, if you listen to my commentaries and you don't hear that throughout the commentary, then it's not live. If you just hear my voice and it's quiet in the gameplay, then it ain't live. I don't know why I'm giving that away, because I like to do post commentary and make it sound like it's live, because I have nothing to talk about. So yeah. Yep. But anyways, though, like, man, come on, man. And you know what's messed up? This was the first time in a long time Derrick Rose has been as healthy as he's gonna get. You know, like, this is the most healthiest that Derrick Rose has been in the past couple of years, and you still could not get the job done. This just, I don't know, man. Maybe it's time to implode the Bulls, man. Maybe it's time to implode the Bulls. Maybe it's time to let Jimmy Butler go somewhere else and do him. You know, maybe it's time to implode. And that's another big thing I'm going to talk about too, the Clippers imploding the team. Because clearly something's wrong, but I have to talk about the Clippers in the fourth quarter. When we get to the fourth quarter, you know how I go. You know how that go. You know, I don't like showing y'all long game plays and stuff like that. So, yeah. But, man. They both teams, man. Both teams came up short, man. But what about the Wizards, though? The Wizards, they just ran into a good team. That's all that was. I'm not even going to jump on the Wizards because they just ran into a good team. I can't say the same thing about, you know, I could understand the Wizards losing their matchup. They were actually playing a good team. So it was kind of understandable if they was going to lose the series or not. And let me say this, Paul Pierce is a legend, man. I don't care what nobody says. Paul Pierce is a legend, man. The clutch shots he hit in that whole series, man. Dude, that guy. Celtics should have never traded him. I don't care what nobody says. Celtics should have never. I don't care if the ship was dying or not. You find a way to keep Paul Pierce in that Celtics jersey. That's just me. That's all I'm gonna say, man. But we're gonna get into the second half, and I'll see you. Get into the fourth quarter. I'll see y'all there. Alrighty. So now that we're in the fourth quarter, I'm just gonna show the whole fourth quarter. It's a close game. Get that in there. Yeah. Oh my God! I didn't want you laid up. Foul, ref. What did it do? Good foul, ref. What did it do? All right. So now that we in the fourth quarter, and we don't have that much time left either, so I'm gonna just try and get this off as quick as possible. The Clippers choked, 3-1 lead. Let the Rockets come back. A Rockets that wasn't even playing good defense, you know, not playing good defense. Just I really had faith in the Clippers, man. I thought this was the team that was going to go far, but sadly I was wrong. Apparently, Donald Sterling cursed this team, or Chris Paul is cursed with never making the conference finals. Like, you were up 3-1. Usually when you're up 3-1, you pretty much end off the series. Now, I understand you not getting it done in Houston, but you were at home. You gave up a 19, 20 point lead. Blake Griffin hit that crazy 360 layup, and then all of a sudden things just went downhill. You guys lost by, I don't know how much I lost by. It was by a good enough margin to say that is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. You were pretty much dominating the game, and then you were pretty much dominating the game, and then you just either the team needs to make one final adjustment, or they need to implode. And that's the one thing I need to talk about with the Bulls and the Clippers. It's time for both teams to implode. I think Tom Thibodeau is out the door this season. He's gone. I think management has pissed him off long enough to the point where he's just like, you know, forget y'all, I'm done. So you know what? It's time for a rebuilding stage for the Chicago Bulls. I think they only got Pau Gasol for 1 year, so let's see where he gonna go. It's just time to implode, man. It's time for the Chicago Bulls. They should have been imploded. They should have been in rebuilding mode. The Clippers, it's time to go into rebuilding mode as well. It's time to restructure this team. You can still have Blake Griffin, you can still have Chris Paul, but everybody else, including DeAndre Jordan, they're gonna have to go, man. DeAndre Jordan is kind of he's the best. He's a great weapon for any team, but his free throw shooting is a downfall. I mean, if you doing that hack-a-Shaq strategy and it's working effectively, think about the hack-a-Shaq method. It usually isn't really used in the second half as much, because by then that player that you've been hacking the whole game usually catches fire from the free throw line. And then all of a sudden they start going 7, and next thing you know, they hit 7 in a row. Then all of a sudden it's like, we might need to slow our roll here on this hack-a-Shaq mess. So, I mean, but DeAndre Jordan, he just doesn't get the job done. He's very inconsistent with his free throw release. Like everybody says, they say the same thing that everybody else says. He has great form, great posture. With his release, it's just something mentally blocking him from making his free throws. And sadly, that's why I say he has to go. He has to. If you're going to rebuild, you're going to have to get rid of all your weakest weapons. you can keep your two strong pieces, which is Blake and Chris, but DeAndre's got to go. I'm sorry, DeAndre's got to head somewhere else because it's time to rebuild, man. It's time to rebuild. Chris Paul doesn't have that much time. You need to build a team. You know, this because this ain't working out, man. I mean, the bench is very, you know, the bench is very inconsistent. The bench is very inconsistent. You don't have that many options to go to. It's time to rebuild. It's time to implode that roster and build something new. You know, get some draft really good. That's what the Clippers need to do. They need to draft really good. They need somebody who can come off the bench, play defense, get them. I said this all in the beginning of the season, by the way. I said all of this in the beginning of the season. When the season first started, I said they need somebody who can defend and be a offensive threat. You cannot keep going to Blake Griffin. That story, that method will get old, and teams will run a certain type of playing style to eliminate Blake Griffin from the game. They can also find a way to eliminate Chris Paul from the game. So you always got to have that third wheel. DeAndre Jordan is not the best third wheel, considering the fact that you can just use the hack and Shaq strategy on him. So you can pretty much stop him in his tracks with ease. So for me, I think it's time to implode. It's time to get rid of all the weak links for that team. That team is built to win it. It's built to go all the way, but it's just something about that team that's just not. It's just something about that team. It's just the bench, really. To me, it's the bench. The bench is just, it's not there. The bench has never been there. DeAndre Jordan has always been a slowdown. I'm not trying to pick on DeAndre Jordan in any. I'm not trying to pick on DeAndre, saying stating why he needs to go. I don't hate DeAndre Jordan. I actually like DeAndre Jordan. He's the best. He's the best center to ever have. But like, if you can't shoot free throws and they can use the hack and Shaq strategy on you, you're pretty much useless. If I was the coach of a team, you'd be pretty useless. You'd be gone. I'm not finna sit here and be concerned about hack a Shaq when I mean, listen, if there was an athletic center that was just like DeAndre Jordan, had the same height but could actually hit his free throws consistently, that'd be dope. But it's hard to find a specimen like it's hard to find a specimen like DeAndre Jordan for centers. I mean, if you can look in the draft, and I mean, I'm pretty sure in this upcoming draft there's going to be some guys out there that's going to be looked at. I mean, it's probably going to be some guys in free agency that's going to be looked at. But the Clippers, man, it's just time to implode and rebuild, man. It's time to get rid of. Keep the two strongest animals you got, which is Blake and Chris, and you got to get rid of everybody else, including DeAndre Jordan. I'm sorry, but DeAndre Jordan has to go. He's been a real weak link to the team, and things just aren't working out with him in the hack and Shaq strategy, because the hack and Shaq strategy actually works on him. You know, the Hacker Howard strategy, it works, but you know, when Dwight catches fire, you shouldn't continue to go to it. That's all. Dwight, because if Dwight starts hitting them consistently, he's found his touch, and he's not going to stop making them. DeAndre, on the other hand, he could hit two in a row, and then the next two he could airball the next one and then miss the next one after that. So That's why I say DeAndre Jordan is a weak link. I say get rid of all the weak links, which is pretty much the whole damn team. I mean, if you want to keep Austin Rivers, I know Doc probably had too much pride and he'll probably keep Austin Rivers. Okay, you can keep your son, it's cool, but everybody else has to go. It's time to build a new team. Jamal Crawford, he has to go. He's been very inconsistent. He was very inconsistent this series. If he could have at least gave them something off the bench, they would have walked away with this series. They would have walked away with that series, but he didn't give them nothing. So I have to say Jamal Crawford has been one of my favorite underrated players, but he has to go. He has to go. The whole team just has to go. Everybody has to be released. This team needs to start over, start new, and start fresh. You got Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. Build something around that. I know it's hard to give up somebody like DeAndre Jordan, but he's just too much of a weak link for the for that team, man. He holds them back. I know he does them good on defense, and when they're flowing, and they're getting it going, he's the guy to go to. He's a guy you can feed off of, but he's still a weak link at the end of the day because he just needs to find his shot at the free throw line. That's all he needs to do. If he can find a shot at the free throw line, things be all good. But since he can't find that stroke at the free throw line, it's pretty much impossible for him to be effective the way he should be effective, because he's a very effective player. I'm not doubting that in the slightest. He's very effective, but his free throw, the free throw, the hack a Shaq strategy, and the fact that it works, it makes him like just not that valuable. That's just me though. I feel like it's time for the Clippers to implode. The Chicago Bulls, they should have been imploded after Derrick Rose goes out 2 seasons in a row. Nah, it was time to implode, man. It was time to implode, rebuild. It's just that time, man. There comes a time when you need to look into something else instead of holding on to what you got, because what you got ain't getting the job done. So it's time to look into something else to make the team better. That's how championships are won. Sometimes you have to make those adjustments. Some of those adjustments you might not like, but sometimes those adjustments you might not like might actually be a good thing for the team. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me though, man. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section. I'll get back to y'all. Till then,